Manifest miracles by changing your perception. My name is Adrienne Grace. I'm a manifestation coach and an intuitive. And today I want to talk to you about changing your perception, manifesting miracles, and having just a total reverence for life. There's a quote, I forget who says it, but it goes something like this. You can either live your life like nothing is a miracle or everything is a miracle. And I absolutely love that, because when we think about life, everything truly is a miracle. When you walk around and you see beautiful trees, when you see flowers blooming, when you see things on your phone, that you have this little device that has you be able to communicate all around the world, when you get into an airplane and you're able to be shot up into the sky and into another part of the planet, these things are miracles. A Course in Miracles says that a miracle is defined as a change in perception. And so that's really cool, because at any point we can change our perception. We have that power. We have the power to shift how we're seeing something. For example, if you often get irritated with your partner, maybe he or she leaves their dirty laundry on the floor. Well, you can start then thinking, well, what if they weren't here tomorrow? Then what? Then that means that all of a sudden these clothes that they left on the floor were sacred, that this was the last remnants that you had of them, and that maybe you then would joyfully leave the clothes on the floor or gather them up in reverence for those clothes being your partner's. I'm just using that as an example. Or if you have something wrong with your health, but you're still able to see and you're still able to hear beautiful music and you're still able to walk, well, you can look at those things and just be in total reverence and appreciation for those things. What we focus on and the meaning that we're giving it is creating our reality. So if we're always just focused on the negative or the bad things that are occurring in our lives and in the world, then that's where all of our attention and all of our precious life force is flowing to that, and we're unintentionally creating more of that in our lives. So we want to shift our focus and then also shift the meaning that we're giving things. We want to look at the world as a beautiful place to be. In reality, now is the most peaceful time that we've ever had on this planet. Now, you might not believe that, because you might be watching the news too much and you might be thinking, but there's so much conflict and duality. Yes, but it wasn't that long ago where you would take your family to the town square to watch somebody get executed for entertainment. The last execution happened in something like the 1930s. That's less than 100 years ago. There was far more violence and conflict on our planet during the entire history of it. And so we can look at now as, yes, there's a lot of conflict, but there's actually more light than ever before. Technology has been able to stop a lot of that, because now news flows just so much more easily. So we can't get away with as much, right? There's less war, there's less starving people in the world. And so these are things that we can shift our focus on. We can shift and change the way we're seeing the world. And then the same thing goes for whatever it is that you want to create or manifest in your life. Oftentimes we want to create from a place of lack and limitation, thinking, I don't have these things and I'll be happy when I have that. Now, I've talked about this a lot in my videos about how we can never create from that place. And if we do create something from that place, it's never going to bring us the happiness that we're truly looking for. We want to be totally happy and satiated now in this present moment. There's something that Dan Sullivan, who's a pretty well-known coach, calls the gap and the gain. And he says when we live in the gap, that life is suffering, basically. The gap is when you're always just looking at where you are to where you need to go. And there's always going to be another mountain to climb. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be something else to achieve, to get. But if you're living in that place of the gap, life can be miserable because you're never in appreciation for what is. Then you have the gain, and that's how far you've come. And when you start living in the gain and being in appreciation for everything that you've accomplished and how much you've grown and all of the mistakes that you've had and even the failures led to where you are today, life becomes so much easier, and working on things and accomplishing things becomes easier because you're proud of everything that you've done, and you don't need anything else. Actually, you don't need more to become enough. You already are enough. You already seen that you've gone on this beautiful journey of becoming, and everything that you have in this moment is something that you once wished for. And so when we can live in this fullness of this present moment, live with so much gratitude that you can see, that you can hear, that you can smell, that you can taste, that you can walk, that you can breathe without assistance, these are truly miracles, and they're gifts. It's so easy to get bogged down by the negativity in the world, and by thinking that something has gone wrong, and by thinking, oh, well, I'll be happy if I had more money, or if my business was at this level, or if I had that special partnership, or whatever it is that your mind is creating this story around. And coming into the present moment and realizing that life is a miracle. Just being alive right now on the planet is a miracle. I believe that we are going through the biggest shift in consciousness that Earth has ever seen, and that your soul chose to be here at this time for the evolution of consciousness. And that's really cool, and that's really cool to think about. And so instead of always thinking about all these other things that you need or that you want, can you be in that appreciation and that gratitude for everything that you have now, today? And that is actually how you create more in your life, is by being in that frequency of appreciation. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Think about if there was a little kid, and this little kid was constantly complaining that he wanted more candy, and that he wanted new shoes, and that he wanted this and that. Would you want to give him more? Probably not. But then you have this other little boy who's just in awe of everything, and he's so happy. You give him a piece of candy and he's ecstatic, and then you give him a new shirt and he's so happy and thankful. You would want to give him more. So the same thing goes with you and the Creator. The Creator wants to give more to those who are in that frequency of love and appreciation. And so look at your life, think about all the things that you have now that maybe once you never would have thought of or dreamed of. Again, even technology, even your phone is probably a miracle that you have this, that you're watching this video right now. And can you live in that state of total reverence? And when you're in that state, that is when you are a match to more miracles. Something I love to do is wake up every morning and say, what's going to happen today? In this joyful, youthful anticipation, right? This joyful expectation of what is going to happen. Wow, life is going to bring me something amazing today. What's going to happen? It's going to be an amazing day. I encourage you to do that. And maybe every night make a list of 5 things that you are grateful for and that you appreciate. It is not the nature of the mind to be in gratitude and appreciation naturally. It's something that we have to work at. We want to create the neural pathways that we do it automatically, but until then, we want to do what we can to create the habit, to form the habit of living in that state of just absolute awe, absolute love of our experience. Now, I understand that there are people that are experiencing really challenging things. And to that, I want to say that I'm sorry, and my heart does go out to you. But I'm sure that even in the darkest of moments, there is still something to appreciate. And can you change your focus to that which you can appreciate in your experience, whatever it is, even if it's the smallest things? I appreciate you for watching this video, and I hope that you found it inspiring, and I hope that you can live in the magic of life and be a match to more and more miracles. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.